What's up, everybody? My name is Jordan Farmer, and today I'm going to be breaking down what Trump has done, whether or not he has economically delivered for the Hispanic community, as well as the black community. I did that in a different video. Feel free to check that out. But today, I'm going to be focusing on the Hispanic community. Trump has obviously bragged a lot about having the greatest economy of all time, but has that actually translated into helping Americans and helping disproportionately poor Americans? And if it has, to what degree? Has he been better than other presidents? Has he been worse? We're going to find that out today. I did the statistical analysis. All of the stats I'm going to be using today are from Statista.com. I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but Statista.com. That's one of my favorite sources, but feel free to check other sources as well for this information to verify it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to compare the median household income, Hispanic median household income, from 1993 to 2019, and I'm going to compare each of the presidents and what they were able to do. I'm going to exclude 2 years from that timetable, 2008 and 2009. That helps Bush because we obviously had a crash in 2008 and 2009. So he actually did worse than I'm going to say today. But from what you're going to hear, you'll realize that that doesn't really matter. And it'll help Obama as well because he actually, if you start, I'm going to start counting his numbers in 2010. And in 2010, the Hispanic median household income was lower than in 2009. So, in a certain sense, that's helping his statistics because he's starting from a lower number than he would have if you started in 2009. So, starting with Clinton in 1993 to 2001, he increased the increase in the Hispanic household income was $8,600 over 8 years, averaging out to about $1,075 a year in increased median household income. It's pretty solid, pretty good. Yeah. Bush was terrible. In the 6 years that I'm counting for him, because I'm excluding 2008 and 9 from his numbers, the Hispanic community lost $150 a year in median household income during his tenure. And again, it was actually worse than that because of the numbers that I excluded, but they were temporary and fleeting and skewed certain things, so that's why I excluded them. Under Obama, the Hispanic community did a lot better than under Bush. They grew in the 7 years that I'm counting for Obama, excluding 2009, they grew $8,100 during those 7 years, which is pretty impressive. That averages out to $1,157 a year in median household income growth for the Hispanic community. So Obama did pretty good. He actually beat Clinton by about, I don't know, 7% or so, and Bush was terrible. Now, Trump, how did Trump do? In the 2 years that we have recorded for Trump, 2017 to 2019, now 2020 is obviously a unique case. We're in the midst of a pandemic. The lockdowns created a huge economic catastrophe. So we have to be, so until we actually remove the lockdowns and limitations on business entirely, they won't be able to come back to normal. But once they do, we'll see a huge wave of increase, a huge wave of job creation to bounce back to where we were, especially if we pass another stimulus. That will definitely seal the deal on that. Anywho, so I am excluding 2020 because we're in flux and we don't know where Hispanic median household income is going to end up by the end of the year, because we've had crazy job creation rates and we had crazy job loss for a couple months. So it's in flux. So I'm just saying 2017 to 2019. If you go 2017 to 2019, the Hispanic community's household income grew by $1,900 a year. So that almost doubled what Obama did, that almost doubled what Clinton did, and again, it buried Bush because he didn't do anything very good at all. So has Trump delivered economically for the Hispanic community and for the black community? Yes, he has. Absolutely. Has he done it in a historical way that is unlike previous presidents? The evidence shows yes, he actually has. So if you care about economic inequality, if you care about the lagging economic, if you care about the poverty of minorities that may or may not be the consequence of systemic racism, depending on the individual case, if you care about those things, and you understand, as I do, that many of the dysfunctions in society and in the black community or African American community and in the Hispanic community, as well as the white community and some Asian communities and other communities, is poverty. There's a sort of vortex and a cycle of poverty that feeds into itself in America that I'll be talking about more in my systemic racism video coming up. But if you care about all those things and you recognize that economics is at the basis of many of our issues, then someone who's delivering economically for minorities in a way unlike previous presidents, to the degree of almost twice the pace of the Hispanic community and more than twice the pace of the black community compared to Clinton, and then for the black community 4 times as much compared to Obama, and Bush just was a disaster. I mean, I don't know how you don't vote for the guy just on that alone. Now he's a gangbuster, kick-ass guy on foreign policy. We're getting peace deals with Bahrain and with the United Arab Emirates and many other countries. Serbia and Kosovo are getting along. North Korea is weak and not much of a presence on the global stage. Iran, same deal. We buried them. Russia, he's actually worked really well against. On domestic policy, he's helped veterans. He's helped help the economy, help increase lots of helping the economy sounds redundant because it seems like this one thing that you're doing, but he's done it in hundreds of different ways, in little teeny tiny ways, and it's been genuinely amazing. So if you care about these kinds of things, then obviously you should vote for Trump. If you care more about how the politician sounds to you when they're lying to you, because they're politicians, career politicians, who actually don't give 2 flying F's about you whatsoever, you're a fool if you vote for those people over Trump, in my opinion. You're naive, you're a fool, you don't know what you're doing, and you're causing serious damage, and I really hope you don't cost us another 4 years of Trump to help solve some of these long-term problems that he's helped solve. Only because you only listen to the intermediaries between you and the original information, only because you don't watch Trump himself, only because you don't fact check things like this, and only because of the lies and the shallowness, in my opinion, that comes with caring so much about the show of politics. If politicians are being fake and lying to us in the first place, which they have been for decades, and it's a very regular practice, then why is this guy who's just always exaggerating about how good he's doing, but he's actually doing way better than any of them have ever done? How is that bad? How is that some moral thing? Yeah, he says mean things to some people. So what? They're adults. They can get over it. They can handle a little bit of criticism. Most of what he does is just criticism and calling people out for doing a bad job. And people take it offensively because they're pansies. And it's just sad. So yeah, Trump has delivered economically and otherwise. Check out my the video on the numbers for the black community, because in that one I break down the First Step Act, and just a quick synopsis of that. The First Step Act was passed, and what it allows is inmates to do certain programs that have been proven to help keep them out of prison once they get out, and they get time off, and they get released early by completing those programs. So it helps them get out earlier, and it helps them stay out longer. So it wins on both ends. It's great for society. It's great for everybody. It's great for those individuals. It gives them a true chance at redemption. And Trump is going to deliver more for those kinds of people. So, anyways, so Trump has delivered for the Hispanic and the Black community. If you care about just those communities, but obviously he's delivered for everybody. He will continue to deliver for everybody. And I hope that how mean he is not what defines his presidency. Peace.